Right, I'm just stepping out of that hostel there. It's the Bongo Bongo hostel in Dowen, just outside Dumagetti, which is on the tail end of Negros Occidental, which is an island I'll probably be talking about quite a lot. You can hear the church bells in the background. Oh yeah, wonderful day to be clean and a wonderful day to be alive. I left Boccolid last night at 9 o'clock and it took me 6 hours to get down here, driving through all the towns just outside Boccolid and then taking a left at Capocalan, is that the name of the town? And then up over the mountains. You're in the mountains for about 2.5 to 3 hours of the trip. And there's quite a lot of road work going on up there in the middle of the night. There's just these fellas in pitch dark with a sign saying stop go, and I can't make it out. I can't even make out where the road work starts and ends, and there's just this guy who I nearly knock over with a little sign in the middle of the night. It was like something out of a movie. Anyway, I'm not even too sure what I'm supposed to be talking about right now. I'm conscious of what kind of silly billy I look like walking around with my gimbal like this. I can't help but think, I feel like I'm like Bald and Bankrupt or one of the other vloggers that I watch. They seem to be immune to it, right? But I'd say that at the start, when they first started walking around with a gimbal like this, oh look at, all heads are turning. All heads are turning. It's most likely because there is an even more obscene fascination with social media, vlogging, and your digital curation. How are you curating yourself today? I'm doing a little bit of TikTok. Maybe 30% of it's from my Instagram. I need to have my Instagram. Oh, look at that now. That's a nice bit of serenity up here at the top of the hill. Now, I'm not sure if I like this method of vlogging, or do I prefer the other one where I appear in a little box up in the right hand corner. Seeing as how I don't even have any listeners at the moment, but that may or may not change. I will be sending this video on to my vlogging editor later on today or tomorrow, depending on how this trip ends up. I arrived in Dumaguete last night at 3 a.m. and parked up along the boardwalk and jumped into the back of the car with some cushions and maybe had a little bit of shut-eye, but not much. Tossing and turning quite a lot. So up again at 6 a.m. So maybe 3 hours. It's the first time that I did something like that. Anyway, I then attended the 10 a.m. meeting down on the beach. Met up with all my AA buddies. And one of my friends has a hotel up here. So I'm probably going to go and check that out pretty soon. Even more people staring at me. I'm going to spin this around now. So yeah, it's a little bit easier for me to comment when I don't have my face to look at. All right, well, they're all getting ready to worship that fella Jesus. There's a massive Jesus ceremony coming up in a couple of days. If you remember from the story, on Good Friday, they put Jesus inside a cave and they said, "Good luck to you, Jesus, you're a dead man." And then sure enough, a couple of days later, he reappeared on Easter Sunday and said, "I'm not even dead. I wasn't even dead. I was only pretending to be dead." And that's the story of Jesus on Easter. They took him down off the cross and they put him in a cave, and he came back to life 3 days later. That's not science fiction now, that's fact. That's the reason why there's churches all over the world just like this, where people come to celebrate the amazing miracle of Easter Sunday. I was listening to a fella talking about Jesus the other day. Well, he was talking about cannibalism, and he was talking about torture weapons, and then he was talking about the crucifix. And he says, it's interesting, isn't it, that the crucifix is actually a torture weapon, and nobody ever thought of it as anything other than a torture weapon until Jesus came along. And they said, right, we're going to put you up there now. We're going to hammer nails through your feet and through your hands, and we're going to leave you on this cross until you die. And Jesus said, yeah, okay. To thine own self be true. No, thy kingdom come, thine will be done. That's what thy kingdom come, thy will be done. In other words, Jesus was capable of saying, look, I surrender to that suffering. I accept that this is going to happen. And then that very same crucifixion became a symbol, not of torture, but of an acceptance of suffering. I probably didn't give that a very good explanation, but okay, take two. I'm on my way back now. That's the end of the trip. A short visit to Dumaguete. I left Bacalad yesterday at 9 o'clock. I drove down over the mountains between 12 midnight and 2, arriving down on the coast in this town, Bais, which is about an hour and a half outside of Bacalad. I arrived in, or an hour and a half outside of Dumaguete, and then I arrived in Dumaguete at 3 o'clock last night. I'm literally just trying to get used to this thing. I'm trying to get used to what it's like to be wandering about the place with this yoke. They call it a gimbal. I call it, I don't know, an arsehole stick maybe. So I'm trying to get used to what it's like walking around with an arsehole stick. I get looked at ordinarily anyway because I'm a foreigner. Multiply that by 2 or 3, the fact that I'm in my 40s, which is considerably less than the average foreigner out here, and then multiply that again by 2 because I'm such a handsome devil. Now throw in the fact that I'm walking around with an arsehole stick. Hello. Yes. Throw in the fact that I'm walking around with an arsehole stick, and then yeah, it's like multiply that then by 100. You ever get the feeling that people are looking at you? Well, you know how you know how you can tell that people are looking at you. They're actually pointing their head in your direction, and their eyes are falling out of their head like this. All right, I'll stop talking now. I was asked to make a video explaining what it is that I would like to achieve in my vlogging, and the reply that I sent this way via WhatsApp was that I want to document what it is like to live in Bacalad for an Irishman like me. Not just Bacalad, but on Negros, which is the island where I live. As I mentioned, it's halfway down the girth of, or the breadth of the Philippines, which is a whopping totality of 7,000 islands. And I want to try and talk a little bit about recovery, because I am 3 years into recovery and I have quite a lot of ideas about the nature of addiction, the nature of the ego. I read a lot about psychology. I talk to a lot of other people about addiction and psychology, and so that's what interests me. In a nutshell, that's what I hope to achieve in these videos. Now, what I have to get used to is obviously how people, right, I have to get used to how to steer this stick. I'm actually going to turn this around. Okay, so maybe some of my videos will be done this way instead, where you're just actually literally looking at what I am looking at. It's a lot easier for me to focus this way and narrate what I am seeing as I walk about the place. Now, this is a nice church. Could do with a lick of paint. 2 or 3 days before Easter, you can feel the solemnity or solemnity, one of those 2 words. You can feel it in the air. The story on the wall is well depicted. A man by the name of Jesus. I'm not sure I was talking about him earlier. It could probably be on this video. A man by the name of Jesus was told to pick up a cross, which itself is a torture weapon, and he was told to drag it up the top of a mountain, and then they stapled him to that cross and he died. Now, a couple of days later, he rose up again. He tracked down his mates fondly known as the Apostles. And he said to them, "Where the fuck are my Easter eggs?" Clearly he didn't say that, and clearly some people might be insulted. Alright, look, I'm going to walk through a crowded area with my arsehole stick, and I'm going to count how many people end up looking at me. At the same time, I'm going to try and navigate my way around the jaws that would drop upon the floor. Actually, I'm not getting stared at too much here. No, it's not too bad. Hello, guys. Can you say hello to my YouTube channel?
Yeah. What's the name of your YouTube channel?
What? Negros Rambler. Thank you.
Thank you.
How do you pronounce your town? Bais? Is it? Bais?
Bais.
So this is the first time that I walked around the city.
Where are you from?
I live in Bacolod.
Bacolod.
But I was just visiting Dumaguete.
Welcome to Bais City.
Welcome to Bais City.
Are you guys in college here?
Yes. First time.
What do you study?
Agriculture.
Agriculture.
Yeah.
Are you getting ready for Easter Sunday?
Yes.
What will you do on Easter Sunday?
We go swimming in the ocean.
Nice. Well, it looks like you're having fun anyway.
Yeah.
Thanks for the meat stick.
Thank you.
All right, see you soon.
Post on Facebook, okay?
Huh?
Post on Facebook. What's your face?
Post it on.
What's your face? What's your Facebook?
Negros Rambler. Do you have a phone and you can write it down?
Yeah, thank you.
You can write down Negros.
Yes.
And then Rambler is Rambler. Rambler, because rambling is something that you do when you walk.
MU?
Yeah, or AM.
MON.
Or AMBLER.
Oh.
Negros Rambler
Thank you.
at gmail.com.
Yeah.
All right, see you guys. Good luck.
Thank you.
So they could well be my very first subscribers. I didn't even tell them that the channel doesn't even exist. I'm waiting on some guy from Bangladesh who may or may not be upset with me on the fact that he asked me for some money the other day because he is apparently having a second child. Hello there. I've already eaten my dinner, unfortunately, but I'll get something to eat the next day. Thank you. Look at absolute buckets of food there. Hello there. Okay, I'm going to veer away. Right, so that was a nice little walk around Bais City. I could well have my first subscribers there. I had a YouTube channel that I was using before, and I'm changing my YouTube channel now to the Negros Rambler, because I'm just going to wander around this island making little videos and hopefully getting a lot of Negrosonian people that will be watching this channel too. If you are a Negrosonian, is that even a word? If you're watching this and you're from the Philippines, welcome. I hope you enjoy. I hope I haven't said anything to offend you. I probably have. You probably didn't like my Easter egg joke about Jesus. So I'm going to have to decide whether to even include that. If you are offended by my Easter egg joke about Jesus, please note I come from a secular society where our version of Catholicism is slightly different, right? Still though, Catholicism is Catholicism at the end of the day. Alright, that's it from me in Bais City. I might stop in another city on the way back. It will be another 2 or 3 hours into my journey, so it could be like a 1 a.m. that I'll be meeting you again.